Hey there everybody, it's RevKev here. Pray you are having an amazing day today. So you may have seen this on social media, you may have seen this on Twitter, you may have seen this on StarWars.com, you may have seen this on Marvel.com, but Marvel Comics has relaunched their Star Wars brand of comics. Now, this has been all over the social media feed, people talking about it, people complaining about it, people complaining that it's all retconning the original trilogy and all of that. But what no one that I've seen is really answering is it any good, right? Like, are these comic books worth picking up, and are they good Star Wars stories? So let's talk a little bit about that today. So the story that sets off here in Star Wars #1 takes place immediately after the events of The Empire Strikes Back. So this is taking place before Return of the Jedi, and it literally kind of has the flashbacks of Luke getting his hand cut off in Bespin, his battle with Darth Vader, and then being picked up by Princess Leia in the Millennium Falcon. So it starts right where The Empire Strikes Back ended. Now, first off, I gotta say, is the art in both of these books is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So the artist here is Jesus Saiz. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. The art is beautiful. I absolutely love it. The coloring is amazing. He's the colorist of this as well. And it's just some really awesome Star Wars kind of art. Except for this. Now, this is just me nitpicking because, you know, that's what I do. Is during this big ginormous space battle, all this green that you see on the page, this is laser fire from Star Destroyers. Like, this isn't a blockade. This is an annihilation. There's no place for a ship to go. Like, how do these X-Wings even stay alive in this? So this is just a cluttered mess in my opinion. Like, it's like it just doesn't make any sense. So that's just the one nitpick about the art, but it's just kind of this Imperial blockade that the rebels are trying to get through. They should have just been wiped out in 4 seconds with a blockade like that. The firepower is just way too huge. So that's the first thing, just nitpicking about this. The other thing that this is clearly doing is it is doing what all the other Marvel comics have done in Star Wars since Disney took over. It's in story mode correction. I have been trying to enjoy these Star Wars comics for a while. I've been buying all the standalone ones, and I've done some reviews of those as well. And they all seem to be written with the sole purpose of correcting something in one of the movies that the fans didn't like. It doesn't show any consistency in the storytelling. It's all about correction, retconning, and things like that. So the big retcon in issue 1 is the fact that Poe Dameron's father is serving with Princess Leia, right? And so they kind of just make that unapologetic as we're tying this all in. So here's Poe Dameron's dad. Now, he was, you know, presented in other material before, so it's not new, but they're really wedging all of this in here together. And what they're also doing in here is they're, how can I say this nicely? How can I say this very, like, so I'm, you know, still a respectable pastor. They don't understand the Force. And I think that's my biggest beef with what Disney has done with Star Wars, is they've turned it into a superpower, right? They've turned it into this hyper overpowered thing that these Jedi are just capable of doing things that we've never seen before. And so in order, I think, to explain how powerful Rey is and to show how powerful Palpatine was at the end of The Rise of Skywalker, they've got to now show us as the fans, oh, Luke Skywalker was like that as well. So they've got this one scene when they're trying to bust through the blockade, and Luke reaches out to the Force, and he completely wipes out all the Star Destroyers. All of them. Doesn't shoot a single laser, nothing. He wipes them all out. Now, again, with this type of a retcon, is you're breaking Star Wars. Because if Luke could do this as someone who's not even a Jedi Knight, well, when the rebels were attacking the Death Star, why didn't Darth Vader just blow up all the X-Wings with his mind? You just said Jedi can do this, right? So they just keep introducing stuff, thinking it's correcting things, but you're making it worse. Like, I don't understand the Star Wars story group and how they don't see this stuff. So anyway, so that's the first thing. Issue #2 kind of picks up exactly with that. It kind of, shows there's a heck of a lot of dialogue in here. There's very little action. They bring in Jabba the Hutt, and it's the whole story of what are we going to do about Han Solo? We got to go and rescue Han Solo. So dialogue, nothing. Some space pirates go up. Lando does some Lando stuff. It's pretty cool. Luke trying to figure out who he is. Lando says, hey, let's go back to Cloud City. I can find your lightsaber. And this is the picture that's just been all over social media, is somebody actually caught Luke's lightsaber as it was falling down. Now, this is obviously a Jedi. This is obviously a woman. I'm predicting this is Rey from the future. I'm just going to go out and say it. I'm predicting this is Rey from the future who's got more superpowers, and Rey from the future is going to come to the past to encourage Luke Skywalker. That's my crazy fan theory right there. I thought of the dumbest thing I could think of and threw that in there because there's that kind of inconsistency. So that's what's going on. I mean, the art is beautiful. The stories, there's some good stuff in there. There's some decent Star Wars. There's some great character development with Luke and his failure. And again, just the other thing where they break Luke even more is, again, because they have to justify what they did in The Rise of Skywalker with all the Force ghosts and everyone speaking to Rey, is now Luke is so upset that Yoda and Ben wouldn't answer him during his battle with Darth Vader. So they're making this thing. But it was never a thing. Obi-Wan said from the get-go, if you choose to face Vader, you will face him alone. I cannot interfere. This isn't how Force ghosts work. So to sit there and now make Luke have the exact same dilemma that Rey had, they're just trying to justify Rey by doing this into Luke, and what you're doing is you're just breaking it more. So that's my rant on this. I will still be picking up the other issues to see where this story arc goes, to see if I'm right that this is actually Rey from the future. And in the meantime, you know what? There was already amazing stuff that was made during this time period. It was called Shadows of the Empire, where there was novels and comic books and magazines and video games and soundtracks and toys. And I own all of it, and I'm gonna go back to this because this added to Star Wars. The whole kind of war between the criminal underworld and the Empire, kind of, Black Sun trying to take over from Darth Vader. It didn't take away from anything, it added stuff. It was so good. I'm gonna start reading this again tonight. So that's what I think so far of the new Star Wars series by Marvel Comics. Would love to know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, I so appreciate each and every one of you that are a part of the community. Look forward to talking to you soon. God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon.